Good morning and welcome. You're watching the newspaper show on Times Now. I am Preeti Dahiya, and before we tell you what's covering the pages of your favorite newspapers, let's begin the day with some news that's just coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Sadaiv Atal, the memorial of former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee. In fact, on his death anniversary today, we are getting these pictures of Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying homage to the former Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee at his memorial, which is known as Sadaiv Atal. And there you see the Prime Minister this morning paying homage to the former top leader of the BJP, former Prime Minister who was widely popular not just for his style of governance but also the kind of personality he had. Poet turned politician, many called him. And in fact, on his death anniversary today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi paying homage to Atal Bihari Vajpayee at his memorial, which is known as Sadaiv Atal. We also can see Vice President Venkaiah Naidu in those visuals which are coming in from the spot. Let's go across to Sherin, who's joining me live on the broadcast now. Sherin, almost the entire country actually, comes together to pay homage to Atal Bihari Vajpayee, a very popular former Prime Minister. Narendra Modi today, in fact, at his memorial.
Well, that is right, and he was considered to be one of the popular prime ministers that India has seen, like you mentioned, Preeti, and today is his second death anniversary. He passed away last year on August 16th in AIIMS, Delhi, after he had a prolonged illness, and today is when the nation remembers him, and along with the Prime Minister, we are seeing the President of India, Ramnath Kovind, is also present at the memorial ground, which is Sadaiv Atal, and along with him, the daughter Atal Bihari Vajpayee's daughter Namrata Kaul Bhattacharya and granddaughter Niharika are also paying homage to the former Prime Minister, and also present is the Vice President. We have been seeing since morning the senior most leaders of the BJP, be it Rajnath Singh, be it Home Minister Amit Shah, all of them have been tweeting about Atal Bihari Vajpayee, paying tribute to him, saying how he was a strong figure as far as the former Prime Minister is concerned. And today is going to be
obviously someone who, along with Advani, shaped the BJP in its initial years of formation. Thanks very much, Sherin, for joining me with those inputs. Let's now shift our focus to the front page of the Times of India this Sunday. The Sunday Times focuses on the speech of the Prime Minister on Independence Day. From LOC to LAC, India has responded to aggression in same language. That's the gist of the Prime Minister's speech from Independence Day. And in fact, let's go into the details of what were the highlights of the Independence Day speech of the Prime Minister. The country and Indian Army have responded to belligerence on the borders in the language of the aggressor, and Ladakh has given the world a demonstration of the capability of the Indian soldier. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said during his 7th Independence Day speech from Red Fort on Saturday. Prime Minister also gives Make for World mantra through his speech on Independence Day. He sought to pitch India as a manufacturing hub by giving the Make for India mantra, so that India Make for World mantra, so that India makes the switch from a supplier of raw material. Now, cyber security policy also is coming soon. Amongst some of the major digital steps that India is likely to take in the coming years, one of them is that cyber security policy is going to come soon, as far as the Prime Minister's promise from Red Fort is concerned. He said that India will soon have a new cyber security policy as the country goes digital and dependence on cyberspace increases manifold in the coming months and years. Waiting for early polls in Jammu and Kashmir, he also reflected on the current status of affairs in Jammu and Kashmir. The Prime Minister hoped for an early end to delimitation in J&K so that it could lead to polls that will result in the participation of MLAs and a CM in the Union Territories development in the coming months. Through this short snippet here, you can also go into the details of what else did the Prime Minister say. Again, one of the highlights was that respect for India's sovereignty is supreme for us. What our brave soldiers can do for this resolution, what the country can can do. The world has seen this in Ladakh. And at the same time, very important announcement also made by the Prime Minister yesterday that 3 vaccines are in trials. Blueprint for distribution is also ready. Now, even as the country is even now battling with coronavirus pandemic, Prime Minister said that a blueprint for production and distribution of COVID-19 vaccine is ready, and mass production of a vaccine will start as soon as the center gets the green signal from scientists for its production and use. So that is definitely one good news, because the government, it seems that is on the top of the pandemic and how to control it, and also how to distribute the vaccine once the scientists give a go ahead. One of the most important highlights, which is much talked about from Prime Minister's speech, is the fact that to break the taboo, he also spoke about sanitary napkins. This is for the first time ever that a Prime Minister has mentioned the importance of sanitary napkins and sanitary hygiene for women in his Independence Day speech. So now let's shift our focus to the other big story, which is being reported in the Sunday Times today, and that is about Mahendra Singh Dhoni's retirement from international cricket, the end of an era, as many have been calling it. Dhoni calls it a day, Mahi Way. Why are they calling it Mahi Way? Because in a very unconventional style, Mahendra Singh Dhoni announced his retirement through a video on a social media platform. There was no official letter written by him or given out in public domain by the BCCI. Might come later, but Mahendra Singh Dhoni decided that he will be announcing his retirement on Instagram, and soon after that Raina followed. Both of them will play for Chennai Super Kings, however, in the IPL in Dubai edition, which starts in about a month's time from now. Over the 16 years that he lauded over the international cricket stage, fans had come to expect the unexpected from Mahendra Singh Dhoni. Even so, he managed to serve up a bolt from the blue on Saturday on a relaxed Independence Day evening after completing his first practice session with CSK teammates following a 5-month hiatus from cricket. Dhoni bowed out with a typically cryptic message on Instagram, reports the Times of India. The hottest moments of Captain Cool are also listed here. And with this marvelous picture of Mahendra Singh Dhoni lifting a World Cup trophy, he led India to an unexpected triumph in the 2007 T20 World Cup, sparking national hysteria that led to the IPL revolution. Go into the details of it and read about Captain Cool, the name which was associated with Mahendra Singh Dhoni all these years that he served India. He will definitely be missed on and off field by Indian cricket fans, but not to worry, he will still be seen in the Chennai Super Kings team in this IPL edition. Some other important stories which are listed here on the front page of Sunday Times, and one of them is that COVID positive Chetan Chauhan is on life support. So we will be keeping a close watch on developments on this front as well, how his health is coping up with the coronavirus. Moving on now to Sunday Navbharat Times. आज के नवभारत टाइम्स के पहले पन्ने पर एक बार फिर से प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी की इंडिपेंडेंस डे स्पीच के बारे में लिखा गया है। हर भारतीय को मिलेगा हेल्थ कार्ड, उसमें होगा सेहत का पूरा रिकॉर्ड। ये भी एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट इनिशिएटिव है जो प्रधानमंत्री ने कल लाल किले से अनाउंस किया था। लाल किले से प्राइम मिनिस्टर मोदी ने की नेशनल डिजिटल हेल्थ मिशन की शुरुआत, रिपोर्ट करता है नवभारत टाइम्स। ऐसा होगा डिजिटल हेल्थ मिशन, इसकी पूरी जानकारी आप इस ग्राफिक के जरिए पढ़ सकते हैं, और साथ ही इन छोटे छोटे कॉलम्स में नवभारत टाइम्स में रिपोर्ट किया गया है कुछ और हाइलाइट्स जो रही प्राइम मिनिस्टर की इंडिपेंडेंस डे स्पीच की। उनमें से एक था कि पाकिस्तान चीन को कड़ा संदेश दिया गया, मेक फॉर वर्ल्ड का नया नारा लगाया गया, लड़कियों की शादी की उम्र बढ़ सकती है, इसके बारे में भी प्रधानमंत्री ने बात की, और कोरोना की 3 वैक्सीन पर काम चल रहा है और जब साइंटिस्ट उन्हें अप्रूवल दे देंगे तो किस तरह से डिस्ट्रीब्यूट किया जाएगा उन्हें पूरी जनता में, इसके बारे में भी एक ब्लूप्रिंट तैयार हो चुका है। प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने उसका जायजा दिया कल लाल किले से। और साथ ही एक बार फिर से महेंद्र सिंह धोनी की रिटायरमेंट के बारे में नवभारत टाइम्स ने अपने संडे एडिशन में रिपोर्ट किया है। पल दो पल मेरी कहानी है, धोनी ने ऐसे कहा अलविदा। पल दो पल जो एक बॉलीवुड का गीत है, उसके जरिए महेंद्र सिंह धोनी ने अपना वीडियो डाला था सोशल मीडिया साइट इंस्टाग्राम पे, और वहां उन्होंने अनाउंस किया था कल शाम 7:30 बजे से कुछ मिनट पहले ही कि वो इंटरनेशनल क्रिकेट से रिटायरमेंट ले रहे हैं। उनके साथ ही इस तस्वीर में देखिए कि महेंद्र सिंह धोनी को रायना के साथ दिखाया गया है, क्योंकि रायना ने कुछ ही मिनट बाद अनाउंस किया कि वो भी धोनी को फॉलो करेंगे रिटायरमेंट में। तो ये था संडे एडिशन ऑफ नवभारत टाइम्स। लेट्स शिफ्ट फोकस टू द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स magazine for this Sunday, and it has a very interesting front page. It says at 25. What is the significance of this front page? Internet arrived in India 25 years ago. It has transformed our lives and work more than any other technology. What does the next quarter century hold? Go and find out in page 4 to 7. That's what Economic Times magazine reports. Now, this is a very interesting magazine which is full of very important and interesting articles from across the world in its Sunday edition. It talks about the 74th Independence Day celebrations, time India made for the world, says Modi. Prime Minister also announces health IDS scheme for all. Virus Forces Limited event at Red Fort. Also, the importance of the Gulf region. Mind the Gulf is on page 3, and it talks about the UAE-Israel peace deal, which throws up an opportunity for India to acquire a greater role in this strategic backyard before it comes under Chinese influence. Go into the details of this very interesting article. I'm sure that you will find it interesting as well. Now, the front page that spoke about 25 years of internet technology arriving in India, you will find everything about this journey that we have covered in 25 years from page 4 all the way to page 7, as reported by various reporters and editors of the Economic Times in these pages, with very interesting graphics and details that go into the making of India's internet history. Now, take a look at this page number 10 to 11. Hello, mate. Kamala Harris becomes Joe Biden's running mate as vice presidential candidate for the American elections. There are, in fact, many details given here to several vice presidential candidates, even the successful ones over the years in American presidential history. How that has really come about is mentioned here in this very colorful page number 10 and 11 of this Sunday magazine of the Economic Times. So that just about really does it for us as far as the 3 leading papers of the country is concerned. Now we will go city specific, and first up we'll talk about the Delhi edition of the Times of India this Sunday. Now, the important story that is coming in from the national capital is that the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, in his Independence Day speech yesterday, said that schools won't open till government is sure about safety of all the children who would be going to schools. And for more on this, let's go across to my colleague Sherin, who's back with us on the broadcast. Sherin, let's talk about this very important decision that the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal has taken, that schools will not open unless they are fully convinced.
Well, that is right. The Chief Minister yesterday during his independence speech has said that until and unless they are fully convinced that the COVID-19 is in fact, the numbers have come down in the national capital and they can take necessary steps to ensure that the kids are safe from the infection, then only they will go ahead and open the schools. And this is in fact in align with what the HRD ministry has also been saying. For the past few months, we have been seeing the HRD ministry has been speaking in a portal, has been speaking to the parents of the students. They have been asking for the opinion of the students as well. And similarly, that is exactly what the Education Minister, Manish Sisodia, is also doing in the national capital. So unless the students and the parents are not convinced, the schools will not open in the national capital, is what he said. He also added that the number cases in the national capital has come down. It has come down to a great extent, is what the Chief Minister said.
That's right. Thanks very much, Sherin, for joining us on the newspaper show. Let's shift our focus to the Mumbai edition of the Times of India this Sunday. And once again, pretty much like Arvind Kejriwal, even Chief Minister of Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray, on Saturday said that he is in no hurry to completely lift the lockdown while virtually interacting with state COVID task force members, Dr. Shashank Joshi and Dr. Rahul Pandit. Thackeray pointed out that wherever there is be no hurry to end the lockdown. It has to be reimposed. So in fact, the Chief Minister, as reported by the Times of India in its Mumbai edition, says that even as we are looking forward to unlocking the country, unlocking the state in this period of pandemic, we are not going to be in a hurry to, in fact, lift the lockdown entirely, because if we happen to unlock the state too much in a hurry, then we might have to reimpose the lockdown. Arunil is with me from Mumbai now. Arunil, good morning. Again, an important decision by Uddhav Thackeray that we have to adopt a steady and slow process of unlocking.
Well, that is right, Preeti, because CM Uddhav Thackeray had a video call meeting with this COVID task force, and that is when it was mentioned that wherever it was possible, the lockdown has been lifted, but in a very cautious manner. But completely lifting of the lockdown will not be possible, because if we look at it, the number of cases that are coming in the state of Maharashtra, yesterday it was 12,600, which is still very alarming. In Mumbai also, it was more than 1,200 cases that were reported, and yes, around 6,800 cases people were also recovered and they were discharged from hospital as well. But the mortality rate remains a major concern. 322 deaths were recorded in the state of Maharashtra. The CM also mentioned about it that they will have to curb the mortality rate as far as possible. He also made one important point that people generally think that only the old people, aged people are affected by the coronavirus, but that is not true. Everybody is getting affected.
That's right. Thanks very much, Arunil, for joining us with those inputs from Mumbai. Let's shift our focus now to Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. And the coronavirus numbers in Karnataka are also seeing a continuous rise. And there is this bit of article which says that officials are worried as many are defying home quarantine rule. But apart from that, the big story from Bengaluru that we will be, in fact, talking about is the fact that the inquiry is currently underway related to Bengaluru city riots that were witnessed last week. And this bit of news on the front page of Bengaluru edition says that mob was ready for arson, and these are the preliminary forensic findings from tests on burnt vehicles which show that the mob carried inflammable liquids, indicating that Tuesday night's violence in the eastern part of the city, which initially appeared to be spontaneous, may actually have been a planned riot. We will in fact go into the details of this with our reporter as well, joining us shortly from Bengaluru. But this is an extremely important bit of news which has been reported on the front page of the Sunday edition of Bengaluru City Times of India, and it talks about the investigation which is currently underway into Tuesday night's violence and rioting that was witnessed in Bengaluru. Imran is live with me. Imran, good morning. What else does the report suggest have been the findings in the initial stages of investigations?
Well, it has shown that there was a liquid inflammable was used for the violence there. Some reducing that it was premeditated plan, and there were 34 rounds also of bullets were found at DGHalli police station limits. As we speak, there is 2 more. They're investigating as far as the forensics teams are concerned. But what is important is that the liquid inflammable which was used, suggesting that it was pre-planned, and that's the most important part of the forensic report so far right now. There are some more forensic analysis needs to be done as far as the vehicles burned is concerned and the damage done to the property. The estimation has been done that more than 3 crores loss is what their estimation done for the violence which happened on last Tuesday night.
Right. Thanks very much, Imran, for joining us with those details from Bengaluru. We are now shifting our focus to Chennai edition of the Times of India, and I want to reflect on page 3 first. When we talk about the Sunday edition from Chennai, it says that on Independence Day, the Civic Body Corporation honored officials who fought COVID-19 and returned to work. Now, this is a real tribute to really those people who are leading on the front lines in this fight against coronavirus. But what is the top story which is coming in from Chennai? Well, it is the political development in the state. It says that AIADMK CM war spills over. EPS and OPS called truce for now. That fight between the 2 top leaders of AIADMK, it seems, is still not over. For more on this, Shabir is joining me from Chennai. Shabir, good morning. How does it really look like between the 2 top leaders of AIADMK?
Well, as of now, after the intervention of senior ministers and senior leaders of the AIADMK, there is a temporary truce. But this is one fight that neither anyone, neither EPS nor OPS or any of the party senior leaders can resolve. Who will be the chief ministerial candidate for 2021 is the question. And this is something that clearly indicates that there is a huge rift between EPS and OPS, because both of them could not even get together or meet each other to resolve this particular issue. In fact, it all started with a minister making a loose remark, and after that, several ministers from the AIADMK started taking sides. Some of them tried to downplay this in the entire episode, but that did not work out. And after that, posters hailing OPS as chief minister cropped up in his hometown, Teni district, and that created a lot of flutter, because this is one issue that the AIADMK cannot resolve now or even in the future, because this is the most important issue. But there is also, a talk within the party that, there are some insiders who want this issue to be resolved now, and that is the reason why it has been raked up.
Okay.
But it clearly shows that both EPS and OPS are not on the same boat.
Well, thanks very much, Shabir, for joining us with that. In fact, now we're going to shift our focus to the sports page of the Times of India this Sunday, and it talks about Mahendra Singh Dhoni's retirement. As one would expect, there is a full page which is in fact dedicated to the former captain of the Indian cricket team, and he in fact continues to be the top story across pages, across all newspapers. But apart from that, there are important bit of news related to the health of Chetan Chauhan as well, and no play on third day of England-Pakistan test. But let's talk about the other sports stories with my colleague Karishma, who's joining me now on the newspaper show. Karishma, good morning. What all is covering the Times sport page this morning?
Well, good morning, Preeti. The biggest news cricket long years, the career span over years, and Dhoni has retired from international cricket. He said in his retirement yesterday that consider me retired as of 90 hours. So it is the biggest news that the sporting world has had in the last, couple of months. Former captain, former cricketer now, MS Dhoni, retiring with a post on Instagram, with the emotional post, a 4-minute long video on the song Main Pal Do Pal Ka. That is the biggest news the Times of India is also covering today, Preeti.
All right. Thanks very much, Karishma. I'm sure everyone will miss Mahendra Singh Dhoni donning India blue, and this is truly the end of an era. Let's move on now and quickly update our viewers what's making headlines globally as reported by the Times of India this Sunday. I have more Indians than Kamala has. That's what Donald Trump says, taking a drive at the Democrat vice presidential nominee. Race for White House becomes fierce. Both camps go all out to woo Indian Americans, as reported by the Times of India on its global page. Apart from that, U.S. formally inks a deal to sell 66 F-16 jets to Taiwan. Now, that could cause major pain to China as well. Taiwan formally signed an agreement to buy 66 of the latest model F-16 jets built by Lockheed Martin Corp, a move likely to further inflame tensions between US and China. And now I want to quickly shift our focus also to the Delhi Times, the entertainment section of the Times of India this Sunday. It talks about how Ankita Lokhande has refuted claims that Sushant paid her flat's EMI. In fact, after reports emerged saying that Sushant Singh Rajput was paying the EMIs for Ankita Lokhande's house, the actress has gone ahead and shared her bank statements with the EMIs clearly marked in it, refuting all allegations against her. And even the Delhi Times front page is also talking about how there were limited cadets and social distancing which was followed in the Independence Day celebrations yesterday. So that really just about does it for us in this edition of the newspaper show. Thank you so much for watching. We'll take a quick break here.